On one hand, where I give you what you're looking for, which is an attaboy, TJ. Your Dallas Cowboys yesterday,
it's
man.
always something, man.
Your Dallas Cowboys yesterday showed up and said, "We've got 9 wins. We deserve a 10th." That's the way they played yesterday.
Pretty much.
That's exactly how they showed up against the Houston Texans yesterday.
Pretty much.
Okay? We just took the Indianapolis Colts apart in the third quarter alone. Do we even have to play today? We should just give us the 10th win.
Why wouldn't you feel
That's
that
the way they played, man. They muffed a punt up 7-0, and then the roof caved in. Mm-hmm. And you, sir, as a Dallas Cowboy fan, are lucky that they somehow, some way, on a 5-yard line with 3 with mere minutes to go, didn't pop one in.
That's one way to look at it.
But okay. Dak did it. Dak went the whole length of the field, and Zeke scored it.
One way is to
But, man, that's exactly what that game of what the Cowboys put on the field at home against a 1-win team that was swapping out quarterbacks, right? Isn't that the phrase that if you've got 2 quarterbacks in the NFL, you've got none? We're sitting there watching this game yesterday at the NFL Network. We're like, boy, Davis Mills can move. And then somebody in the room goes, that was Jeff Driscoll.
Yeah, I was
really?
confused.
Yeah,
wow, Driscoll could really sling it. No, that was Davis Mills. Really?
I will say this.
What the hell was – hold on a second. One last thing.
Sorry.
NFL Network researcher it's a Dante's Inferno. Dante comes up with all of these great phrases. Mm-hmm. and
that's his name?
And phrase Inferno is his last name, yes. Dante. But he said yesterday in the middle of our hangout yesterday that Amari Rodgers had more receiving yards yesterday with Driscoll and with Davis Mills, both of them. He had more receiving yards with both of them more than in any game he ever had with Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Dude, the way that they were playing yesterday is exactly why people think that no matter how the Cowboys look in this regular season, when it comes to the playoffs, they are going to blow it.
Okay.
Now, that was the same answer Josh Allen gave yesterday when he was asked by a reporter, well, something along the lines of like the offense isn't really clicking on all cylinders. It just doesn't look like it's working very well. He goes, okay. Like, what's your question? I'm telling you, yesterday is exactly why everybody's wondering what ticks inside a Dallas Cowboy that makes them follow up the complete dismantling of a lesser opponent with an even lesser opponent than their lesser opponent they dismantled, and they almost lose that game. How the hell does that happen? Fact. Especially when Pollard scores twice. Okay? And Zeke scores once. How the hell does that happen? How do they just sit back there and be picked apart by Jeff Driscoll and Davis Mills and Amari Rodgers? Come on, man.
You kind of left Chris Moore out. He's the one.
Yeah, I know.
He's the one who had the big day, not Amari necessarily.
I appreciate you saying that.
But here's one way to look at it, right? Yeah, you can say that, like, yeah, we barely beat a one-win team, which, by the way, that did not look like a one-win team yesterday the way they were playing.
Because of the way you were playing.
But here's the other thing. Like, and I always say this about Facebook. I say you go on Facebook and you have an on this day thing, and I told you, like, how many years that I've had something negative to say about the Cowboys, right? Fact of the matter is, in years gone past, that was a game that the Cowboys would have lost that game, right? To me, I want to look at the positive. Look at what the defense did. Those guys could have just wrapped it up. They could have sent it in. They made incredible defensive plays, and then they still had to go 98 yards to win the game.
And then you look at the standings.
And by the way, you don't get extra credit points by who you beat or how you beat them. It's like, did you get the win? To get that win, this team would have lost this game in years past. It wouldn't even have been a thing. And for them to come back and win this game, have a big defensive shut down on this team who was at the goal line. We should have won that game, but the defense came up. Tank Lawrence came up. Micah Parsons didn't have his best game. With 98 yards, we won the game.
That's it. Everything you just said is 100% spot on.
So we can nitpick and go, well, they didn't do this right. I mean, we lost their tackle. Okay,
TJ. Like you have every right as a Cowboy fan to push back in the manner in which you've said it. Done, and you are absolutely right in everything that you just said. Fact of the matter is, what the way that this season ended, with the way the last 25 seasons have ended.
Yeah, we would have lost this game.
And I said this to Michael Irvin yesterday on game day morning, that this is the first time in the 11 plus years that I've done this show with him that I truly do believe this Dallas Cowboys team, offense, defense, special teams, has what it takes to actually win the Super Bowl in that year. Not only because of how good they are, but nobody else is totally running away with it. Mm-hmm. And they have now 2 games coming up for them to shut everyone up who is going to be just yip-yappering as much as they rightfully should too.
Sure.
Coming off of that yesterday, they got 2 games. One against Jacksonville. Okay.
Played great yesterday.
They sure did. And Doug Peterson knows what it's like to go against this team and beat them. He knows how to beat the Dallas Cowboys. He knows what to do.
Different team.
Understood. Different team, but he
didn't have to deal with number 11.
It's not his first rodeo against the Dallas Cowboys, as, say, would have been Urban Meyer. Okay, so you got that one where everybody's talking up the Jaguars, and there's going to be a lot of trap game talk. I mean, you want to hear those 2 words, trap game. The 2 words you're going to be hearing a lot this week are Brock Purdy and trap game.
True.
This is a trap game.
You're right about that.
Brock Purdy leading up to that Thursday night in Seattle, and Dallas going against Jacksonville before they take on Philadelphia at home. These next 2 games can just basically say that Houston thing was an outlier. Everyone has them. That was ours, and we won it.
But
there's no but.
Oh, okay.
There's no but.
I felt like you were butting there.
There's no but. You guys won. Your team won.
That's it.
And they showed up thinking they should have gotten that win without playing. That's the way they played. And it gives a lot of people pause. Like, how do you dismantle the Colts and not say, we're going to do the same thing to this team right here, and instead make mistakes everywhere and look like they were sleepwalking in the exact same way that they were against San Francisco last year in the playoffs? Head in the clouds. How much time's left? What do we got to do? We got to give the ball to who?
Well, this is soccer. Sort of stuff. We know how much time.
No, I know. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.